I said, well, hey, I just want to let you know something. I'm celibate and I'm saving myself for marriage. And she basically started berating, talking shit, calling me names and telling me that no woman would wait.
Well, he dodged the bullet. Listen, I ran into that when I was dating and the dudes found out early on that I wasn't about that. Those dates really usually ended very fast, or there just wasn't a second date. It wasn't complicated. But I never had a guy berate me or call me out my name. That never once happened to me. That's completely unacceptable. So he dodged the bullet.
All right, y'all. So I'm back dating, and I'm having the hardest time keeping the connection with a woman because the moment I tell them I'm celibate, they usually act a damn fool, and I don't really understand what the problem is. So last night I went on a date with this beautiful young woman. We went out to the restaurant. We were having a great time. Towards the end of the night, she asked me what was I going to do afterwards and if I wanted to come over for a nightcap.
Let me say this real quick. So first of all, shout out to him. Y'all know I'm a big supporter of sexual discipline, celibacy. I support that 100%. That's what I decided to do. And I do not regret it. And because let me say this, I want to explain specifically why I don't regret it. I have heard countless women say that they regret. They absolutely regret a person that they've slept with. Countless women. I've never met a woman say that she regrets waiting. This is my experience. And that's just basic fundamental reason. In my personal opinion, that's what women should be doing. That's what we should be advocating for. And also, like he said, I think sexual discipline is also something that men should be doing as well. With that said, I obviously support his choice from my own personal point of view, but it's interesting that he's with a woman who was so adamantly opposed to that. And I think that's very telling out the gate, because my point of view, if you're really serious about somebody, you really care about them, then you're going to be willing to want to respect their boundaries and at least understand their point of view, understand why. But her trying to, sleep with him early on in the date, I'm like, what is this mindset that a lot of women have today where it's there used to be at least a 90-day rule, right? It used to be at least some decency where you was waiting, and it just seems like a lot of those rules that used to be there, even for women who weren't waiting until marriage, there used to be at least some leverage, or there was some sense of restraint that they would have in order for them to just wait it out, make sure it was comfortable. And I think also just as a sense of decency. But now it just seems like even though that 90-day rule, just people aren't even abiding by that anymore. Constantly hearing of these divested disasters or these really bad dating stories gone wrong where, a lady will meet a dude for the first time and then she's in his apartment. And I'm like, wait, how y'all just met for pizza and ended up in this dude's apartment? That's hella unsafe. So obviously, I personally don't have anything wrong with what he's saying, but what I find intriguing is how much the standards for women have changed.
I agree, but I told her, I said, well, hey, I just want to let you know something. I'm celibate and I'm saving myself for marriage. So if you were expecting something to happen, it wasn't going to happen in that capacity. And she basically started berating, talking shit, calling me names and telling me that no woman would wait for me to come up off into a marriage.
Well, he dodged the bullet, even if that's not what you want to do. Because listen, I ran into that when I was dating and the dudes found out early on that I wasn't about that. Those dates really usually ended very fast, or there just wasn't a second date. It wasn't complicated. But I never had a guy berate me or call me out my name. That never once happened to me. That's completely unacceptable. So he dodged the bullet. If he had a lady who, instead of her being okay, I don't agree with this, or I can't do this, or whatever, that's an adult way to mature. But there's no reason for you to tear a person down just because they don't want to have sex with you. To me, that's hella immature. And he's already showing in his own lived experience why it's better to wait, because God forbid he had sex with her and the sex was good and they kind of kept on this relationship. That would have eventually been a horrible moment, because at some point she was going to go off on him anyways. At some point she was going to show her true character, but luckily it happened out the gate. So that's also a good thing about what he's doing. Already, because he has such a strong boundary, it's going to really keep those who are not serious or who are not on the same level, it's going to keep them at bay. It'll make it harder in some regards. But there are women out there who are also waiting until marriage. I know women like that, right? Most of the ones that I know who are all doing it for spiritual convictions. I did it for spiritual convictions, but they do exist. So I actually think it makes dating a lot more effective, a lot faster, a lot more streamlined, honestly, when you have these kind of really hard boundaries. Okay.
But I stood on business and I was like, listen, this is my life choice. and this is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm at in my journey in life, and I want something long-term and meaningful, and I don't feel like we're going to get that if that's the first thing we do right out the gate. I've done it many times over, more than I like to admit, so I'm just like, no, let's just do it the right way. And basically, it blew up in my face pretty bad. She got up, she left, and what I would assume to be an Uber, or if she called somebody, I'm not exactly sure, but it ended that way. But, I'm just standing on business about what I believe and how I feel. So am I tripping? I'm not really sure, but this is my thing. This is where I'm at.
I think he did the right thing. Honestly, I feel like he dodged the bullet, I believe, because he got to see out the gate the character of the person that he was with. As soon as she gets mad, she yells, she cusses, she berates you, she calls you out to your name. She acts like a kid. That's not anybody you want to build a life with or marry. So good for him. Shout out to him. I don't have anything bad to say about his decisions. Obviously, it's just really interesting to see the kind of women that dudes are running into. When I think about the fact that there was a time, I feel like not even that long ago, where if a woman was, if she was having sex too soon, it was kind of like looked down upon. That whole 90-day rule, that probably has been out for God knows how long. It just doesn't seem like it really applies anymore. A lot of ladies are willing to hook up. I don't understand it. Anyways, that's what I have, y'all. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening. If you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye.
I'm really excited to announce my new kids book, Aisha Learns to Love Her Hair. Aisha's hair is stunning, but she struggles to see its beauty. Through encouragement and wisdom from Grandma Lily, Aisha learns powerful lessons about self-acceptance. Aisha's journey is a heartwarming tale of family, culture, and confidence. Share her magical journey with your little loved one today, available for purchase.